There are so many that have influenced me, but I think the figure that stands out to me of all the stuff I've read, of all the figures I've encountered, is probably Jonathan Edwards. The book about Jonathan Edwards that I most enjoy is the biography by George Marsden, Jonathan Edwards, A Life. Now, I should say that I'm a history nerd, so that's your preface. I think the book reads almost like a movie, like a film, just because Edwards has this fascinating life. He's a pastor in New England. He sees God bring revival to his church and his area. So he's seeing the Spirit move, but then there's tremendous division in his area over his pastoring. He eventually is kicked out of his pastorate. He's the most famous pastor in colonial America, and yet he loses his church in 1750. Well, then he goes to the wilderness of Massachusetts and begins missionary work among Native Americans. Then he's called to be the third president of the College of New Jersey, which becomes Princeton University, of course, in later years. So he has this episodic, larger-than-life kind of experience throughout his life. The real core of what is interesting about Edwards to me, though, is his big God theology. So if you read his sermons, if you read his writings, Freedom of the Will, History of the Work of Redemption, another text, you get this sense that God is looming over everything. God is not put in a little box the way that modern people today around us like to do. God doesn't only give you a precious moment and a special quiet time. God is in everything, and God rules everything. And God's grace is what keeps us alive and brings us to heaven at the end of our days. Edwards has this inspiring vision of heaven, not as a place where you just play soccer and drink superb coffee, but it's this place that is a world of love, where you dwell in perfect communion with the Trinity and all who have ever been adopted into the family of God. Those kind of larger-than-life ideas and big theological frameworks are what have really captivated my mind. And so I can just basically say, in sum, that Jonathan Edwards is my homeboy.